Hi all you beautiful people. This is Sunday Shining number 9. So welcome everyone. And what I feel guided to talk about this week is about the calm, and I might call it the calm in the chaos, because what many of us are seeing around us is that the world is very chaotic, and our own lives can seem very chaotic. And what I feel really guided to focus on is really the peace, to just feel peace. So yeah, I've got something in the oven, so I have to stop the video in a minute or a little while. And I've got a channeling by Daniel Scranton again, and I just think it's supportive and it's good, so I'll put that in too. Yeah, so let's just go into this whole thing. Yeah, I also want to touch on diet, so we'll just see what this mixture is going to be like. But the world, everything is changing, and everything is changing really, really fast. And who we were is no longer there. And the more we're trying to try to hold on to who we used to be, the worse it's going to be. And the more heavy everything is going to feel. And people around us can be leaving us, and some people can be coming closer, and we can be meeting new people. But as it is said in the channelings, and also what I feel is that it really is what is the only important thing is our own inner process. It's keeping our focus on what's happening inside me, and how do I feel that more clarity is coming, more peace is coming, more love is coming. This is where we need to focus. That's everything I share is just really what I feel I'm being guided to understand. And all the knowledge and all the understanding that's being revealed to us is really our own wisdom. And as I see it, we've all had this, been connected to all this wisdom once, but we lost it because we went into amnesia, because we came into this planet and we knew what we were going to do. But of course, and what we were going to do is go into this sleep state where we forgot who we are, what life is all about, and that there's an order, a complete order in everything, and that we're important. We have an important part to play. All this we forgot. And now we're rediscovering it, and at the same time we're growing even more. So where we were before we went into amnesia is returning to us, but we're only going to expand, so become even more enlightened, or even more godlike in this very short amount of time. So it's very, very powerful. And I just got this the other day, we've actually tricked ourselves. This is really a test we've put ourselves on. And what this is just something I really sensed very, very strongly the other day, that we actually, before we came here, we said to ourselves, okay, or our guides or whoever, that's what they say, that you sit around a table and you in the heavenly realms, before you come here, and you decide, you talk with these wise people, wise souls, and talk about what is it that you're going to go and learn this time. or on this planet in this lifetime. And what I sense so clearly is that one of the great things is that we've really said to ourselves, okay, I'm going to put myself into this, what seems like an incredible chaos, and I'm going to see if I can be completely filled with peace and love right there. And realize that when I go into the peace and the love, my world changes. So to come here to really realize that we are creators, and it's by our mindset. But the whole thing of feeling peace, feeling trust, feeling love right here in our lives is really, really challenging, because there's nothing we can hold on to anymore. There's only ourselves and our own, the pillar of light that we are, and our connection to all the unseen, really, God within, the angels around us. We can't cling to anything anymore for safety. So we're right where we are now. We're forced to go deep within. And when we do this, we feel the peace, we feel the love, we feel that there is an order, and that this is the test. We're not just escaping the chaos to just feel better, but we're realizing that this was the test. This was what we came here to experience. That we get lost in the chaos, and we just get thrown around in this chaos, and we have to find a way out, and realize that moving out of this chaos and into our true selves was something we came to practice. And the whole thing of the world being chaotic is really in an illusion, although it can seem very, very hard to see. And another thing that is so challenging is that people around us can be in a lot of pain and a lot of mess, and to not get caught up in the pain of seeing them get lost. And what I feel in my life is that one of the great benefits, apart from, just completely changing my life, one of the great benefits of staying completely anchored in my heart, in the peace, in the love within me, is that I can be an anchor for others, so that they can come to me for support for a period until they can stand on their own feet. They can see, oh, this is what I needed to do. This is where I have to go to start feeling better, because that's the whole thing. The more we move away from God with our God self, the more pain we go into, and the more we start going back to our God self, the better we feel. So that is really the way of sensing, okay, I'm on the right path. So I'll just go and do this little thing. Let's have some tea. So let's just go back to the whole thing of what is peace? Peace is, as I see it, is that you feel deeply okay, completely accepting with yourself. So whatever you feel, whatever you look like, whatever you're doing in your life, what feels true to you, you have peace with, you are at peace with. So that's really the core. That's really how we find the deep peace. It's by finding this peaceful attitude towards ourselves, or really coming away from the attitude, but embracing ourselves exactly as we are. And when we do this, we feel this enormous peace, just accepting every single part of who we are, even if we hate someone or have this strange attitude towards something. When we feel at peace with this, just accept it as it is. It will balance itself, so it will become love. It is love. But we need to start to just accept. And when we start working on ourselves like this, of course we connect with our God self. So then we're on the right path, and we will see that our relationship to others becomes the same. So it's very, very difficult to accept and deeply love others when you don't do that with yourself. It's actually impossible, as I see it. And so yeah, and just going back to the whole chaotic world, I just went to the city the other day, and this very, very busy people moving around in trains, and just this busy life in the city very early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I just never do that. And you just see all these people. But they were, people were actually more peaceful in a way than I feel they used to be, but it just is very, very hectic. And to really sense how I've moved ahead, I can really practice this, just come into myself, feel this pillar of light that is me, feel the peace no matter what's happening around me. And for me personally, it's not healthy to be too much in those sorts of environments, but for some people it's just fine. But it was a great little test for me to see, okay, how good have I become at anchoring myself and staying present within myself. And the peace that I feel when everything's peaceful around me is the same. I'm connected with myself, I'm anchored in myself, and I feel good within myself. And then I'm not, I let people go. I'm not so judgmental. I can just, watch people and just let them be. And so it's very, very beautiful, because it really, really helps us move forward in leaps and bounds when we do this work of coming into the peace of who we are. So I just want to touch on diet, and I've talked so much about this, and I just got a couple of messages from somebody who said, stop drinking the milk. Milk isn't for humans, milk is for calves. And I just removed them because it just, I just don't want to look at it. These a little bit critical people, and really the whole journey of finding the right food for ourselves is enormous. I mean, it is so taxing, and for many of us in this awakening process, we have gut problems. And as I've said before, I really do believe and feel that these gut problems are forcing us to come into contact with ourselves. It's forcing us to stop running away and being so busy with all these outer things that are keeping us detached from our true self. So the gut problems are actually a help for us to awaken. And there's no doubt we can do things with our diet and with our lifestyle to help the process of healing, and for us to come out of these so-called problems, to heal and to feel good in our bodies. But it is a process, and you just have to, as I sense it, you just have to really, really go intuitively, because some people are healing and feeling really, really good on only eating meat. And it's hard to understand how this can be, but as I see it, it's because we're going back to something very, very fundamental, completely fundamental for the human body. So all the irritants are removed and people heal. Many people are healing. For me personally, the milk is more helpful for me because it's just more gentle. But I also have some meat, but I'm really basically eating animal products and have a tiny bit of fruit, some apples, maybe a few nuts. and the whole thing of elimination, to help the body eliminate, I think is really important. And that is also a part of the reconnecting with ourselves, massaging the body, touching ourselves. All this self-nurturing, self-care is so powerful and helpful to reconnect us with our true self, which is the being that is for the future. Our old self we're not meant to focus on this part of us, but some of us are still in that, and that's okay. So just talking more about diet, I was just watching someone on the internet yesterday, and it's breatharians, so it's people who have stopped eating. And some people have, so it's possible to actually not eat at all or drink. So there's people on this planet who are not putting any nourishment into their bodies. And it is so hard for the mind to understand how is this possible, but apparently the body is built so that we can live in this way. And that's what I've read and heard about the future, that we will detach ourselves from food more and more, because our body will take in energy in different ways. And I sense this is very true. And some people really, really, really want to become these breatharians. But as I see it, it's something that's going to happen naturally. So you'll sense that you're not so interested in food, or just don't feel like so much food, and slowly we will transition so that our bodies will free ourselves off the food, and we will eat when just for pleasure. So this is just how I feel we're moving ahead. But where we are right now, I think what is crucial is to really sense what feels good for me, what feels good in my stomach, what calms me, and just do that. And just trust that it will heal you. It is healing you. And it's not only healing your gut, it's healing your whole being. It's bringing you out of this very stressful state and into your peaceful self. So just touching more on diet, I just can't help seeing people around me, and the whole thing of the ketogenic way of eating, removing the sugars, or taking the sugars out of our diet, and the whole thing of wheat and grains. And it just is obvious, as I can see it, it's obvious that people who are eating carbohydrates, and especially refined, or these very processed, and you see it everywhere in the cafes, everywhere, it's wheat, grains, and something, maybe some meats, maybe some vegetables with it. And people can feel that they're actually eating healthy food because they've got this whole grain, whatever. But the thing is, this is feeding the body with sugar, and also the grains are very, very hard for us to break down. And I think they say that two-thirds of the population cannot tolerate gluten, and that is in most of these grains. And as I see it, if you're still eating grains and you just feel you're not feeling really well, it's really worth the experiment to just remove it and just see what happens, because these grains are affecting our mind, and you just see it that as soon as you get the fat around the waist, and you sort of look there's just too much fat on the body, and you look inflamed, it is very, very often from the grains. And so and we just know now that many mentally ill people, when they remove the grains from their diet and they eat a more natural, paleo, ketogenic, very simple, often it's just really simplifying your diet, but when you remove these grains and sugars, and of course all the processed stuff, your body completely changes. And there's actually a very lovely, he's a carnivore, I'll just share that here. He's on YouTube, and he's an English man, and it's very clear to see what's happened to his body. And his YouTube channel is hard to find, but it's carnivore with 2 R's. So CARRNIVORE. And he used to be this overweight, just typical male in his 40s, I think, or late 30s. And you could just see he was all sort of blown up and reddish and just didn't look healthy. And he went right off all this processed food and started eating all animal-based, it's just an animal-based diet, and he's completely changed. And what I love about him, he has a very beautiful heart, and wants very much to help people to transform their lives, because he just feels his calling. So and he's very humble. He's just very, very sweet. So you might like to go and look at him. If I can find the link, I'll put it under this video. And that's really leads me to the next part, which is really, really to begin to open our heart. So what I really wish to share with these videos is that there is one light. There is one God. There is one light. And we are all that. We are all that light. So getting out of the whole thing of I'm special. And it is although you can think that you're a spiritual master and even call yourself a spiritual master and have all these followers, when you feel that you're special, you have a very low vibration. Getting into this whole feeling of that we are one light, and we're all these beautiful little lights in this huge big light, and that nobody really has a brighter light or greater light than anyone. We're all these beautiful little beings in this big organism that is the light, that is love, that is pure. And that humility and that sweetness comes out of us when we really, really, it sinks into us that we are a little aspect of something very, very, the light. And it is actually there, the greatness. You feel the greatness more when you stop trying to make yourself great. And it is only the ego. It can only be the ego that is tricking you. And you are unaware. So any sense of, I'm special because I eat only meat, or whatever it can be. I don't eat anything. So or I eat only milk. Whatever it is. Or I've been through this transition, whatever. If you have this sense of I'm greater, it's not the light. Going back to the peace, that's where you feel the peace. And also you feel it's just so beautiful to be in that state of being, that you feel that you're one with all. You feel you can really, really shine your light in a peaceful way, because you're not desperate for anyone to like you or love you. You just love shining your light. And the sense of service, you get to feel that you're here to shine the light for others, so they get to discover their own light. And that feeling is just the best. So we're here to serve, and shining our light and feeling really, really good about ourselves. It's all combined with the service. So it's so beautiful. So diet, changing our diet so that we feel more clean, we feel more present with ourselves, we don't feel all depressed and strange and anxiety. So changing the diet so that you feel you're helping yourself to be more present and just coming deeper into your heart. So beautiful. So there are really people, and with the whole vegan movement and the whole vegetarian movement, we really did believe that when you move away from eating meat, you will awaken. And the funny thing is that some of the people who never touch meat, they're very, very unawakened. whereas this example of this man, this carnivore English man, is somebody who's eating only animal products, and he's just full of love, full of humility. So it's you just can't say which diet or which lifestyle is going to awaken you. So so beautiful. So I think we're going to do this little channeling from Daniel Scranton. I'll put that in now. So let's hear it. We're going to have a look at a little cloth I have while we listen.
Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are extremely excited about the potential that we see for humanity to continue to evolve in leaps and bounds for the rest of 2019. We are seeing a trend amongst all of you where you are gaining momentum, and you are doing this by accessing the wisdom of all of your previous selves that you've ever been. The wisdom that you have acquired over all of your lifetimes in this universe is becoming more available to you now because of the integration work that you are doing in this time of ascension. And that wisdom means that you have stronger intuitive hits, stronger impulses. It means that your downloads are coming fast and furiously, and it also means that you are very productive while you are sleeping. You're opening yourselves up to these past life versions of yourselves because they are hurting, because they are in need of your support. They need you to help them reintegrate. They need you to help them clear their traumas. We know that this has been a lot of work for all of you, and we know that you have suffered quite a bit. You felt intense emotions and didn't know why or where they were coming from. You've also experienced a tremendous amount of what we call Ascension symptoms. And all of the upgrades to your bodies and your chakras have been very trying on your patience with this process of ascension. But in these final months that you have for the remainder of this year, you get to reap the rewards for all that hard work, all that you have endured, just by being there on Earth. Earth is not a proving ground, and it's not a testing facility, but it often feels that way to you. The fact that you are ascending in this lifetime means that you have signed up to face all of the trauma and the stuck negative emotions in this one lifetime. And it's about time that you got some positive results from all of that hard work. The wisdom that you are downloading now will propel humanity into a higher echelon. And many of you will have your fifth dimensional experiences and think that the shift is upon you. There's a bit more time that needs to unfold before that happens, but you are well on your way, and this time now is when humanity takes a giant leap forward. We are the Arcturian Council, and we've enjoyed connecting with you.
So there's two more things I want to share. And one is, last time I was, that was a pretty full-on video. I mentioned how I sometimes say to people where I just don't feel their love. I say it very clearly because I just feel it just has to be said. And what I want to share here is that when you feel, for you who are more awakened than the ones around you, and you're helping, you're there as a helper to help them awaken, and you can sense how things are happening, and they're starting to go into the darkness again, and feel bad. That's what happens. They get to feel depressed or very anxious or something. I just found this week, just to remember to thank them, and that was so powerful, because they might do a little nice thing to you, anything that you can just sort of pinpoint and just show your gratitude. So I said that I just thank you so much for being so generous, because this was a person who'd been very generous towards me. I just thank you so much. It's just been so wonderful. And that was enough to turn the person back to her heart. So, and it can be really difficult, because if you do it too much, it has the opposite effect. But it can be very, very powerful. And also just to say, I love you. I always love you. That is just... so, but as we grow, we sort of get to see where the timing, the divine timing. But never be... I just feel never hold it back to say thank you and I love you. I always love you. So that was one thing. And I just want to end off this video with going into the whole thing of awakening, which is what this is really all about. How do we awaken? How do we help ourselves awaken? And if you're someone who's just coming into this and you feel it's difficult and you keep losing it, I just want to talk a little bit about this here. So for many of us, we've filled our lives, because that's what we were taught, with a lot of activity, and generally most of us are doing too much for what we really need. So too many activities are making us scattered. And it can be very hard to let go of all these activities, because it's so ingrained in us that we have this hobby and we have this thing and we have to do this celebration, because we always do that at Christmas time. We do this party, and we have to go to this and this auntie's thing, because we always go there every year, and all these things that are going on in our lives, we feel obliged to do, but also that we can't let go of, because if we let go of them, we might feel bored or we might feel lonely. And I just want to really encourage you to start to let some of these things go. And it can feel very painful, and it's not about forcing yourself, but just ask yourself, maybe, what if I didn't do this? And it can be going to some of these outings that we used to. We're afraid that we're going to hurt someone. And what I did several years ago, I realized I have to be honest and say, I'm just not coming. I'm not going. So and I just wish you a really lovely time and a really lovely party, but I don't do what I said to someone was that I just don't do these big parties anymore. I just can't do it. And they understood it. So that people who really are fond of you, or who don't want to lose the connection, they will understand it. And it did really help me to get out of my old self, because I knew deep in my heart I can't do all these people running around, eating food, getting drunk myself, feeling very sick the next day, whatever. It feels bad for me. It feels wrong for me. It's just too taxing on my system. And if I'm to be with those people, I'd rather be with them alone, or just a few people together where we can sit and talk and have some fun. So it's not that you stop seeing people, but you change the way you do it, where it feels nourishing for your heart, and also you feel that you can show your love for these people in a different way than you did before. And all these hobbies we have and all these things we do, one of the ways to help ourselves awaken is to simply take a break from it. Just say to yourself, I won't do this for a period of time. Just leave it. And it could also be something that a practical thing that you really should be doing, to just allow yourself to let it be, because nobody's going to die from you leaving it, and you do change. You really help yourself to change, and we get it. We help ourselves out of this addictive behavior and the belief that these outer things are so important. I mean, it is so important that I get this done, because if I don't get this done, and you can go deeper by asking, well, why, if I don't do it, what am I going to feel? Well, maybe I'm going to feel not very valuable because I have a dirty house or something. And really, that is the emotion that you're actually running away from. By keep organizing your things, you get away from the feeling that you actually don't feel good enough. And what is so powerfully healing and helpful for you to say goodbye to your old self is to realize, oh, this emotion is sitting in there, and really no matter how much I clean the house, this emotion is not going to go away. So leave the cleaning and go and sense, oh, I don't actually feel I love myself that much. And that's where you need to focus. And don't clean that away. Just let it be there. Let the emotion of unworthiness, not being good enough, just allow it to hold it. It's like a little child that doesn't feel good enough, and it's sitting there, it's waiting for you to go and hug it and just say, I'm holding you now. I don't want you to stop this feeling. It's okay. You feel this feeling. And I promise you, the feeling will go away and you'll realize you are magnificent and you are beautiful. It was a lie. It was something that happened to you maybe many lifetimes ago, where you lost your self-love. And it's been controlling your life, maybe for thousands of years, who knows. For most of us, the greatest problem we have is this self-hatred. And it is like a little child sitting there waiting to be loved. So love the self-hatred, and the self-hatred will disappear. You realize it is not your true self. It's something that you clung to, that happened, and you just have not released it yet. And then you can do the cleaning and feel great that you've done some of the cleaning, maybe not all the cleaning, but you've realized that you've done the inner cleaning, which is to remove this blockage, remove this self-hatred that made you not be yourself. So it will be you will be more connected to your soul self, and it will be your soul self wiping the windows. And you will feel peace, you'll feel love, and you'll realize that this cleaning the windows is not going to give you the self-esteem, because that whole addictive behavior, that necessity is gone, because you know you are loved already. So this was just to I felt there was something else. That is really the reason why we have such resistance to awaken, because when we start to let go of the way we've been, when you stop doing some things, you change your life, and you become more quiet, you feel all these very, very uncomfortable emotions that are in there. And do not fear. Just know that your God self, this beautiful shining being, is waiting behind those emotions, and you just have to go and hold them and embrace them. That's all you need to do. And you will be set free. So it's so beautiful. This is the only thing that is important right now. And as a channeling said, these hurt emotions, this self-hatred that we've been holding on to, is not only from this lifetime. It's old stuff. So the only reason why the world became this way was because we became controlled by self-hatred. And when you're in this state of being, you destroy. You don't bring life, you take life, because you're taking your own life. What you're doing to yourself, you manifest into this world. And these emotions have come to be healed and to be released, to be acknowledged. The only way we can release them is by going there with our attention, our awareness, and meeting them again. Meeting them again. And yeah, all your God self, all the peace, all the love, all the goodness that is waiting there for you to not only feel wonderful, but start creating a completely new life and a new world, which is what we're going to do, and we are doing already. It's all waiting there. So there's work to do. There's work to do for sure. And when there's not inner work, there's the work of accepting others where they are, and some people go deeper into the addiction. They don't want to do this. I just love them there. One last thing I want to share. This is going to be a long video. Is EFT. I've mentioned this before. And it is just a tool that you can use when these emotions come up. You feel this self-hatred, for instance. This is a way to help you cleanse the emotion away, because they are very, very powerful. The darkness is still there, and it can feel very, very powerful and very difficult. So the EFT with the tapping, breathing deeply, relaxing, and doing this, you can go and see on the internet. There's so many wonderful people who are showing this, and I also have some videos. I think that's on my first channel. It's so helpful, so helpful. So let's do our message for today. It's really windy today. So let's see what the Lord wants us to hear today. Okay, this is number 38. And it's called Trust in Yourself and Trust in the Angelic Energy Working Through You. Dear one, as the light within you grows stronger and brighter, you will find yourself bringing more wisdom and love to your world. You'll begin to trust more deeply in yourself and know you are divinely guided at every moment. Trust is an energy that grows the more you use it. Like a muscle that strengthens with exercise, so it is with trust. It comes not from the power of your doing, as much as it is an allowing of energy to flow through your being. Trust comes from a deep level of faith. At the core of your being, you know there is a higher power at work. You can turn your life over to this higher power, and things will begin to move in positive directions. Learn to listen more to your intuition than to what society tells you is true. Learn to listen to the voice of your higher self, which is your connecting link to the divine source. Remember that you know deep within what is best for you. Your higher self knows the answers to all the questions you ask. Trust the angels to help you with this process of connecting to God within you. They are an incredible resource awaiting your invitation. Begin to ask your guardian angel for help in small ways. Follow the guidance you receive, and you will find yourself trusting ever more deeply in this wondrous energy working through you. You will notice your life becoming simpler and everyday activities becoming easier due to an ever-increasing compassion and clarity within, and due to the grace of the angels. This grace blesses every step you take and every word you say. This grace also becomes stronger the more you allow it to work in your life. It is a gift for you, but first you must ask, and then you must allow yourself to be open to receiving the good available to you. These simple acts of trust can transform your world. Remember, your direct link to divine grace strengthens when you trust in yourself and trust in the angelic energy working through you. Okay, so let's find the card. Birth. So let's end our Sunday Shining, and it was good this message that it's not in the power of our doing, but it's allowing that we feel the trust within us, feel the energy flowing. So I just want to go back to this I talked about before, which I think is so important. With the things you do in your life, the hobbies, the activities, the things you do, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What if I don't do it? What will I feel? And use that. It's so exciting to see, oh, this is the emotion that's driving me. And it's just all waiting. These little children, hurt children within us, all waiting to just be held and loved, and good things will happen. So it's so powerful, and it's so wonderful to be doing these videos and be connecting with you like this. So I wish you all a really, really wonderful day today, and a wonderful week where you feel the peace that you are growing more and more. And for the next Sunday Shining, if you feel like you'd like me to talk about something particular, write under this video, and I might not, but it might be something that I will talk about next Sunday. So take care, and may you feel the peace. See you.